Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. Couple important things for you today. Firstly, we're going to jump into the new and updated Mavia game deck. We're going to do a deep dive on this. And then I've got a special giveaway where we're giving away one Mavia beta code to a lucky subscriber. Now, there's a couple things you got to do in order to be entered into the contest, so make sure you stick around till the end of the video to find out. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we can see here they've got an updated logo. I actually really like that. I think it's pretty cool. But let's get into the meat of it, so to speak. So really, this is very similar. I am going to go through the important parts, but also highlight what's changed a little bit more. So of course, they talk about the introduction of it, AAA Web3 mobile base builder strategy game. We all know this. But it talks about now how players are able to earn in-game legendary items through their mass ownership model. And if you haven't seen my video deep diving into the mass ownership model and exactly what that means, definitely go check that out. It's powered by Ruby, which is their flagship premium earn-only currency. Talks about game basics. It's set in a fantasy-themed island called Mavia, where the player is the commander of a base. Player's objective is to grow their base and army by using resources in the game gained from attacking other players' bases. It's very traditional to base builder games, of course. This is really how it works. The main sources in the game, or resources, are gold, oil, sapphire, and ruby. And like we mentioned, ruby is their premium currency for crafting rare legendary items, NFTs. So going into the gameplay details, I do like how they updated the markswoman photo there on the left. That's pretty sweet. Talks about creating value through battle and conquer. Now, we already know this, but really it's kind of updated in aspect to the Ruby side of things, right? So it's designed to become increasingly challenging as players develop their base and improve their army skills. Battling other players' bases online allows both free-to-play and NFT owners to earn Ruby. So Ruby is the in-game premium currency which can be used to craft and trade legendary items inside the Ruby marketplace in the mobile game. So let's slow down here because it feels like we've said that a few times. What they're talking about is any player now playing the game, whether you're free to play or you're an NFT landowner, can collect and earn Ruby and use them to create these legendary items, these legendary consumables, land decorations, statues. We'll get into all that in a little bit here. And that's all going to be done in the NFT marketplace. Now, they're talking about how it's done via the Mavia web NFT marketplace. So obviously, the more seamless they can make this, the better. Whether you tap a button in game and it opens up a browser and brings you there, or how that's really going to work. Really, they want to make sure that they're making this as seamless as possible. They do talk about earning while offline. It's very similar to before. Basically, it has to do with defending your base, so it's possible to earn when you're not playing, which is why base building is very important. And I've made many base building videos. If you guys haven't seen those, definitely go check them out. That's something I'm going to be focused on hugely. It's one of my favorite aspects of base building games. And if you can earn while you're offline, you should be prioritizing it, right? Now, it talks about matching skill levels. This is important too. Obviously you want to make sure that you're playing against opponents that are challenging. If things aren't too easy or too difficult. If you're just getting crushed by your attackers all the time, it's not going to be fair. So they're going to make sure it's engaging and challenging for everyone. Now, a couple important things on this page. They talk about lead your base to victory, build your ground and air forces. Your army consists of vehicle, infantry, and air units, each with a clear tactical advantage. You can upgrade their troops to increase their stats and their appearance. The appearance thing is really cool because as they level up, they're actually going to look more powerful. And I think that's a really cool nuance to the game. And of course, having those three types of units are really going to impact your strategy with the game. Assemble your defensive army, which is defensive buildings and units attack your opponent's army, can be upgraded to increase their power defensive ability. So what they mean by units, like heroes, for example, like your Mira, right, is good offensively and defensively. Talks about leveling up your HQ, right? This is straightforward. The further ahead your HQ is, the more access you have to buildings and troops and really all the features that the game has to offer. Maximize your walls and towers. Now, this is something that I have a personal opinion on. I think a lot of people would agree with me. Don't ignore your walls. And actually, when I look at a base, I look to see, have they neglected the walls or not? And that to me usually tells me how serious of a player they are. I would even argue upgrading and maxing your walls is more important than some of your defenses early on. And they talk about how it can be, strategically positioned to funnel opponents into traps. That's where the base building stuff gets really cool. Now, this next part is what I'm most excited about, to be honest. Deploy traps and decoys. Traps make it easier to defend your base against opponents and are typically hidden from attackers until their troops come in contact with the trap. We're missing this in the beta right now. We don't have traps. This is going to add a whole new level to base building. But what's decoys? Do they mean traps? Like, is this another thing that they're developing? I'm not really sure, but I'm really curious to learn a little bit more about that. But the traps thing, I'm super pumped about. And then, of course, upgrading your hero units, right? Talks about how they defend your base. They can also be used in offensive strikes. They have special powers, which can be used in attacks. Most of this is very similar to what we had in the other game deck, but if this is your guys' first time looking at this, this is great to go through. And the traps, to me, is the thing I'm most excited about. Now, here's where we want to slow down. Here's the Mavia currency. It's Mavia, Ruby, and Sapphire. Mavia, it's the governance token. So there's going to be voting on things. Obviously, it's very similar to Web3 projects. We know how that works. In-game rewards. That's really going to be cool to see. But real money skill-based gaming token. This means that there's going to be tournaments for free-to-play players, for landowners, for everybody, where some of the rewards are going to be the Mavia token itself. This is awesome. The esports focus in this game is really what's blowing me away, and they really understand this is something they need to double down on. It's amazing to see that Mavia is going to have a use case for that. But they say how it's not an in-game resource, right? That's what Ruby and Sapphire is. So moving over to Ruby, it's the in-game reward currency, which is used to create, trade, and upgrade Mavia NFTs, crafts legendary items, used to trade legendary items in game, earn through gameplay and challenges, and it cannot be bought or sold directly. So this is the thing that we're all going to want to try to be earning the most. And of course, owning a land gives you a huge advantage at the rate of what amount of Ruby you're going to be able to collect. And then we're going to be using that to mint these NFTs or these legendary items, whether it's for the benefit of our own base or to resell on the marketplace to other Web3 or Web2 users. That's going to be completely up to you. Then we've got Sapphire. So Sapphire is a premium in-game currency used to boost troops, skip wait times, and more. So it's the premium in-app purchase currency. It's used for speed ups and building/character boosts. So there's going to be a huge demand for that because we're going to want to race. A lot of people who are competitive about this game are going to want to race to the max HQ as quickly as possible. Cannot be sold or exchanged, and it's used as a small fee in legendary item trades. Now, that last detail is actually how it's getting around, or not getting around, it's addressing compliance, right? So for example, when there's a marketplace transaction, there might be a small Sapphire fee. You're going to be able to find Sapphire when you remove an obstacle or a bush, a rock, things like that in game. So it's not going to be like you have to go buy this just to facilitate, the marketplace stuff. So it's good to know that. But I really like how they've broken this down. It's important to get a proper understanding of these three currencies. So legendary items make owning NFTs fun for everyone in the mass ownership model, right? Land NFTs, we know about that. Huge earning potential. Skins and cosmetics is going to be really cool to see. I mean, they've even talked about even specifically how there's going to be like, when you get 3 stars, there's a special animation that happens that can be kind of like a cosmetic or a skin that you purchased, or the way that your buildings get destroyed could release balloons or candy. So there's going to be a lot more than just your troops with these skins and cosmetics. I'm really excited to see what they do with this. And also the skins and cosmetics that we already know about from like the sneak peek channel, Mavia Elite. I mean, they look amazing. But then there's decorations, statues, and consumables. So additional statues, land decorations, and legendary consumables can be owned, traded, and used by players. The statues in particular will have a direct impact on your base, your progression. These are probably going to be one of the most highly sought after things in the game, in my opinion. And then the legendary consumables, same thing. These are all things that landowners can mint and then resell on the marketplace to make money themselves. For example, a Web2 player might want to use a microtransaction with a credit card or fiat to purchase a statue. We get paid in ETH if you're a Web3 player. Pretty amazing how they've done that. So talks about the use cases for legendary items in Ruby, troop themes, legendary consumables, building themes, tournament entry fees, legendary statues. We kind of covered this a little bit in the last page, but the tournament entry fees I think are something important to highlight here. You're gonna need to use Ruby sometimes in order to get in. Or maybe we're going to have to use Ruby to mint these tickets, which are like a raffle or an opportunity or a ticket to the tournament. It's going to be interesting to see how that works. And their use cases are going to grow over time. Ways to earn Ruby: winning attack, completing challenges, successful defense, partnering base with other players, base obstacles, wagered matches. So just to dive into a couple of these here. The winning attack is very straightforward, but it gives us the details on the bare minimum. Same with the defense. Competing challenges are going to be cool because there's going to be things in the game that you can do to really help you earn a little bit more Ruby. The partnering, though, this is a huge thing for a lot of people, right? If base owners can find a partner for their base, allowing another player to manage the base, providing passive Ruby income to the owner. Now, I know there's a lot of people in the community where this is what they've been focused on. They've picked up quite a few lands. They obviously can't play 16 lands, for an example. So there's really going to be a demand for this because players are going to want increased Ruby. Here's an example. I'm a free-to-play player. I want to rent a land so I can earn much more Ruby so that I can buy statues and legendary consumables and other cool things for my free-to-play base. So if I'm a competitive player, but I'm not willing to purchase the land, this is going to be my shortcut, how I can boost my land even better. And now I'm just managing a second base. There could be lots of other reasons why, but that's just a simple one I wanted to explain to you guys. Obstacles are straightforward. You just remove a rock or a bush and you get, some Ruby. And then wagered matches. And anyone who knows me, or if you've been following the channel for a while, this is something I am extremely pumped about, because we're going to see high intense esports one-on-one matches where people are anteing up insane amounts of Ruby for a winner takes all. And this is something I'm going to be doing quite a bit on stream, on Twitch. It's going to be a lot of fun. And this also is a huge opportunity for competitive players to earn quite a bit more in the game. They talk about the Sapphire use cases. You can buy missing resources if you need to afford that upgrade. Complete construction, that's going to help you skip time. Boost your resource creation. This is something you're probably going to want to have going at all times if you can afford it. Skip training time so you can get back into battle quickly. There's that legendary item trading fee we talked about, very small but important for compliance. And then buy additional engineers. This is probably something I'm going to do immediately, right? The moment I get in, I'm going to be purchasing all the engineers possible for my base. I'm going to need that Sapphire. I'm also going to be boosting my resources. Those are kind of two things that I think are the most important to me. But of course, everything else is really nice to be able to use when I want. They talk about the land NFTs inside the ecosystem, buying and selling bases, renting out bases. We know about this, but let's go into a little more detail. Renting out a base, you will agree to a fixed daily rate to be paid in cryptocurrency for your base, as well as the duration of the lease. The owner is not entitled to any of the proceeds of Ruby from the base and only receives the agreed rental funds. So this is renting. Now, what the difference is on partnering is splitting the Ruby earned. So by partnering your base, the ownership remains in your hands, but the partner player uses the base and splits the Ruby proceeds from the base usage 50-50 with the owner. Now we know this is going to be adjustable, right? Maybe it's 70-30, 90-10, 40-60. That's going to be up to the two individuals doing it. So there's really two ways to think about this. Rent out maybe a max high-level base for a tournament or usage, or maybe there's a base that has a lot of extra benefits, has some amazing skins, needs to be featured for some content. There's going to be a fixed, hey, you pay me this for this base for this amount of time. Then there's the other route, which is the partnership. Hey, you play the base and we're going to agree to split the Ruby at this rate. And for a free-to-play player, renting, I think, is going to be interesting because that'll be more for like tournaments and stuff and unique access, but partnerships are probably going to be the most sought after thing because that's where the Ruby split happens. And now that free-to-play player is going to be able to take that Ruby and help level up their base. There's lots of other use cases for this, and I'm sure we're even going to be surprised. I'm just giving you guys kind of a clear-cut example here. Okay, so just moving along, there talks about an intuitive web platform. You can kind of see this is like the website that maybe when you tap on in game, it brings you to the marketplace, shows you a total volume amount listed, how many owners, what the total amount is. You can kind of see the current price and over date. You can make an offer, you can buy now. I really like how clean this is. And they talk about how, you can browse in-game items and activities such as battles, players in the Ruby Marketplace. This makes for a seamless experience both in-game and on the web. So we're going to be kind of using both of these. And I like how it mentions the battles and players. So we're going to be able to look, and this is huge for alliances, look at your past battles, go through your win rates. We're on the blockchain. All this stuff is going to be public for people to see. So it's not just about the marketplace. There's other uses that this web platform is going to have for all of us. So now just moving down to talk about the Ruby Marketplace, a little bit more detail. So it's an intuitive and frictionless in-game NFT marketplace for Mavia's legendary items, designed to onboard the masses to Web3. The Mavia Ruby Marketplace is an in-game NFT marketplace that allows every player to mint, trade, and collect legendary items without needing to leave the app. Now, even if it just opens the web browser, you're still not leaving the app technically because it's seamless, kind of like Instagram when you click on an ad. The marketplace charges the end user no gas fees and is designed with the compliance in mind for Google and Apple app stores. The no gas fees thing is incredible. That means that Skrice, Mavia, are paying for our gas fees on the back end. That's amazing. Talks about how it implements cutting edge features while creating a seamless experience for both crypto and non-crypto native users. Like I said, gas fees are covered for all trades and users. All trades are fully on-chain and visible on the blockchain. Every player receives a built-in wallet, onboarding millions of new Web 2 players to Web 3. Awesome. Seamless experience makes Web 2 users' first NFT mints/trades easy and pain-free. Wide selection of skins, decorations, consumables, and more offers NFTs to millions of players. Real-time NFT marketplace makes trading gamified and fun. I'm really stoked about this. It looks amazing, but I want to get my hands on it and actually feel what it's like and how that seamlessness, really works. Now, this is something I'm pumped about. Mavia Arena, real money skill-based gaming. The Mavia token is used as the exclusive currency for wagered Mavia Arena matches. So Mavia Arena, they talk about how Mavia Arena is a skill-based real money gaming mode where players compete head-to-head for real money through the Mavia token. This winner-takes-all competitive game mode is also fully compliant with Apple and Google Play Store rules. So there's the wager matches with Ruby, but now they're talking about this Mavia Arena where players compete head-to-head through the Mavia token. So it's really interesting. I'm curious about that, kind of the difference in the overlap there. But they do talk about how it's fully compliant with Apple and Google Play Store rules. They talk about how you can buy Mavia in-app. While Mavia tokens cannot be used for in-app consumables, they can be used compliantly with Apple and Google for the purposes of real money skill-based gaming. The Mavia token will be the gaming currency required for Mavia Arena, and any Web 2 player will be able to acquire Mavia with Apple and Google Play. One quick thing I want to mention too that we didn't highlight, talk about this Mavia Arena and wagered matches. There's also going to be alliance wager matches. So we're talking full clan versus clan, winner takes all, right? That's going to be incredible. And then of course there's going to be the Mavia Arena for that. And actually I guess I should say alliance versus alliance to be accurate. They talk about the ecosystem governance, proposal-based voting. This is awesome. Voting is based on your token holdings, ecosystem, and game decisions. Proposals can be made to make modifications to the Mavia ecosystem, rules and fees, or even specific changes to the gameplay itself. This is going to be awesome. It's really going to put a lot of the feedback in our hands, and it's going to be a push to own more of these tokens so we can have our say have more of an impact. I love that. And this is very typical for Web3 games, for the governance, right? Talk about how it's available on tablet and mobile, Google and Apple, not on the computer. Do not try to play on the computer. Do not try to BlueStacks this. You're going to severely handicap yourself because of multi-touch. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Just stick to mobile devices. They're saying it here specifically. Now, they talk about cutting edge features. This is cool. It's similar to the old one. Telegram game notifications. I'm looking forward to syncing this and setting it up. Game and web translations, multi-language support, API integration. They're going to have a public-facing API allowing users to build apps on top of the Mavia ecosystem. Let's see what people do here. This is going to be really cool. What kind of add-ons can we really put into the game that's made by players that heighten the experience? They're going to let us do this. Permanent battle replays, similar to a blockchain of battles, users will be able to replay all previously fought battles by any base sim player. Thank you. Clash of Clans had like a 24, 48-hour limit when it came to replays or past wars, and it was so painful. We couldn't go back, we couldn't share them. When someone was applying to our clan, we couldn't go back and see their past battles, what their win rate was. Everything is going to be publicly visible now. This is amazing. In-game Ruby ledger, all earnings and spending of Ruby are tracked and shown publicly on the Mavia Explorer. This is also great. You can see what everyone's doing with their Ruby. That's going to allow for extra insight and strategies to track players or high earners and what they're doing. Extensive documentation, all character-based stats and gameplay documentation are recorded in an easy-to-read format for all players. It's like the wiki that we have, that I'm going to live out of that a lot, especially until I memorize a lot of all the little nuances and details. It's pretty awesome. Now they're talking about onboarding the web to masses, right? So because this is a mobile game, they're running ads on all these different platforms. They're going to be able to target all these Web 2 gamers to help onboard the masses to Web 3. Kudos to them. And I love how they're showing some examples here. Mavia Tokenomics, right? We know private sale was 15%, ecosystem fund was 50. That's actually nice to see it that high. Skrice team was 22, advisors was 3%, and game rewards was 10%. I like this split. I always have liked it. It seems very fair in the way that they've broken it down. And then just kind of moving along, talking about passionate community. This is really cool to see a lot of this art because, I've been involved and Bog has been involved in Mavia Elite for a very long time. So seeing some of these pieces of art featured on the new game deck is just really awesome to see. And more people are still creating art and still creating content, which is great. Now, the roadmap. So Q2 2023 alpha gameplay, we're past this now. The testing, the gameplay footage, the game docs released. Q3 of 2023, we're also past this now. So landowner beta testing, public beta release, the Ruby marketplace reveal. This is what just happened. And now Q4 2023, this is the global rollout. So customer acquisition testing, limited regional release, global Android and iOS app release. This is what's next. And I just like how clean this roadmap is. Then they talk about Q1 2024, user base growth, large-scale social media campaigns, new gameplay features, and creator code program release. Awesome. A little bit about Skrice, many backgrounds, one mission, a lot of different industry veterans that joined the team with skills from a wide range of fields. They talk about innovative workplace culture. I really like that. And worldwide team, right? They have Skrice was founded in Vietnam and is expanded to additional locations across Europe and North America, with a team size of over 70 full-time staff members. That's awesome. Here's a little bit more about their team. Obviously some recognizable faces up there, that's for sure. Talks a little bit about their experience, Nintendo, Rockstar, Bungie, Love, Death, Robots. I love that series. That's pretty sweet. Call of Duty, Activision, Supercell, Arcane, Final Fantasy. These names are awesome to see. Here's some of their partners, right? These are all very familiar as well. You got Binance, Crypto, Tribe, Avocado Guild. I can't even mention them all. There's too many, but obviously it's great to see this. And then they do have this disclaimer. I'm not going to go through and read this, but I really like how they laid this out. It also just shows me that they care about their compliance and they're making sure everybody understands what page they're on, when they're getting involved with Mavia, and all the information that they've read here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really awesome to get a chance to deep dive this with you. Lots of little updates and big updates in the game deck compared to the old one. Obviously, the main features, Ruby, Sapphire, and Mavia token, how those three currencies are going to be used. But now that we've got through that, I want to announce the giveaway that we're doing for everybody. So we've got one Mavia beta code that we want to give away to one lucky individual. There's only 3 things that you need to do. So the first thing is obviously you need to be subscribed to our channel. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who has been subscribed. It's really making a big difference. We appreciate it. Like this video and then join our Discord. We'll have the link down in the description below. Once you join our Discord, all you have to do is go through the verify section, add Blu Ocean Crypto. And then once you do that, you're going to notice that there's a giveaway channel that opens up. Hit enter on the giveaway. This is going to keep it random. The Dino bot is going to do the draw. We're going to do the draw on Halloween. So just to recap, subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like this video. and head over to our Discord to the giveaway channel and hit enter. And we're just giving away that one code. You just have to do those 3 things. Of course, when the winner is drawn, we will verify that you have subscribed and liked the video, and then you'll be able to get access to the Mavia beta and join in on all the fun that we've been having with this. Okay, we really appreciate your time. We'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.